July asked you to burn the script, to stop performing, to stop pretending. And now Venus enters the scene, not to soothe, but to show you what's real. And this week, your nervous system will tell you the truth before your mind does. Hello, beautiful ones. Welcome to the Hero Series, the forecast that shift timelines, where astrology becomes a map for your sacred becoming. So, if July cracked you open, pulled your voice forward, and dissolved who you thought you had to be, that wasn't failure. That was preparation. Because this week, Venus takes the lead right here. And before I go into all of that, I want to let you know you do not need to know astrology to watch this video. Just sit back, relax, and listen. Soak it all in. So this week Venus is taking the lead through the squares and sextiles and soul level invitation. She'll show you what safety really means and where your relationships, your desires, and your heart-based boundaries need to evolve. So let's dive in. So, before we move forward, let's honor where you've moved through because you've done a lot this month, whether you understand that or not. So, Neptune and Saturn, these two right here, cracked the illusion wide open, making you question what's real and what's performative. They were asking you, what is your identity? Who are you identifying as, right? And then we had Mercury retrograde in Leo, and that pulled your voice into the fire and asked you to speak from your heart, not your habit. Mercury here is really making you think about who you are and how you're speaking and communicating. Okay. Your truth from your heart, not from the habit. Okay. Then we have the Mars South Node right here. It was conjunct earlier, which means they were close together and they were speaking closely about you, right? So Mars on the South Node ripped up patterns of burnout, perfection, and guilt, right? This is where themes were coming up. They have been coming up. Old patterns that some of you weren't even consciously aware of what you were doing. That was a pattern. You were just so used to doing it, right? Well, when Mars entered that South Node or went conjunct with that South Node, it brought up the old patterns and you seeing it and saying, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to be that anymore. That's not even who I am. I'm just kind of doing it, right? So it's causing you to think about that and redo your patterns. And these patterns, the themes were of burnout, perfectionism, and guilt, right? And then we had that Leo new moon, right? And the Leo new moon was asking us to stop shrinking. You were never meant to be small. That's what this Leo new moon was asking us, has been asking us, like, stop shrinking. You were never meant to be small. So if you felt raw and tired and triggered and inspired or tender in some places, that's not chaos. That's your transformation. Okay. I know I'd been triggered. I'd made a video about being triggered. I said this was coming along. So if you are, just know that's part of your transformation. And if you haven't yet watched the full series of July's forecast, or you want to revisit them with new eyes, I'm going to link them right here in the playlist up here where that eye will come out. Okay. Just click on that and watch this whole last July because you guys have done a lot, or you have, right? So I've linked the playlist up here. Just go back and watch it. It's worth it. Trust me. So every episode walks you through the deep transformation that got you here. Okay. And it's not just astrology, it's your timeline that's being decoded. Okay. So pause and ask yourself for this whole month, what am I proud of this month that I might not have acknowledged? Okay. And this is so important because I was saying something to my one of my best friends, and then we hung up the phone, and I called her back to because there was an important part of what's been coming out for me, that I went back and said, this is not to complain. I just want to voice this, tell my truth, and realize to myself that I am not that identity anymore. I am not going to allow those things to happen anymore. I don't have those types of energies or people around me. It was just so important for me to go back and voice that and say that, not because she's my mirror, right? So we're besties, and I said, I'm just saying this so that I can say it out loud so my soul can take it in and hear it, right? So, and I said several times in several conversations to several people, I've said this throughout the month, especially the last couple of days. I am proud of myself for doing that. I am proud of myself for doing this and doing that. Like, I am noticing that. And it is so important. It's very healing to acknowledge, right? So please pause and ask yourself, what am I proud of this month that I might not have acknowledged? Go back and look where you've come from, right? So that you're done. You're proud of yourself. That moment is done, and you're transforming, right? Because even if you didn't make a move this month, something deep inside you did. And this week, Venus is going to show you where that shift leads. Okay. So again, this week, Venus is going to take the lead. Okay. So on July 30th, that's coming up. We're on the 28th today. On July 30th, Venus leaves curious, clever Gemini and is going to enter Cancer. And Cancer is the sign of safety and nurture and emotional honesty. But this isn't soft spoken energy. Venus in Cancer is teaching us safety does not mean silence, and love does not mean self abandonment. So, what may you feel this week and what things may be coming up? You may feel more emotional and sensitive or nostalgic. Okay. You also may feel suddenly suddenly clear about what relationships feel safe and which don't. Okay. You also may feel a deep urge to return to your body, your home, or someone who feels like your sanctuary. Okay. So you may have that urge where you just want to return to your body, your home, and even have those people around you that make you feel like you can just be your whole honest self, right? But this isn't the old version of comfort. This is conscious, chosen connection. Like, you're really gonna, these things may be coming up. We're like, yes, this is the people I like to be around. Yes, I just want to be here in my sanctuary. Okay. So that's going to begin to happen for some of you um, on the 31st, on the 30th, sorry. And it's late night 30. So um, then we're going to move to the 31st. So on the 31st, Venus is going to square right here. So Venus is right here, and here's Saturn and Neptune, but they're retrograde, right? We're doing introspection. We are thinking stuff is going on more on the inside than on the outside, right? And if you want to watch any of my Saturn retrogrades, Neptune retrogrades, I'll leave that up here too, because I have a Neptune retrograde a video that I have for you guys. So if you want to know more about that, it'll be up here. Um, but Venus, Venus is the planet of love, of safety, of what makes me feel safe and secure in this world, what makes me feel stable in this world, what luxury beauty do I want around me. That's Venus, along with what types of relationships, right? She moves further than that. I know a lot of people just talk about the relationship, but she's like, she has other things that she's about, right? So when she squares Neptune retrograde and Saturn retrograde, this is the core transit of the week, and it's no joke, okay? and they're at 1 degree. Okay, so at 1 degree, that's a powerful degree too. Okay, because you're beginning to see, you're beginning to understand, right? That's what this 1 degree is. And it's retrograde, so it's introspective, right? So Venus will be at 0 and then 1 degree. She'll be moving like really slow, but she'll move throughout the day. And it's squaring. So Venus in Cancer is going to square both of these, right? And this is retrograde in Aries, which is challenging and the challenges you face. Okay. This is what aspect is going to do. Okay. It's going to show you the challenges that you face, right? Where have you confused emotional labor with love? These are the themes that might be coming up. Okay. Where do I still chase safety instead of embodying it? Right? Venus is about attraction. I have a whole video about Venus and Mars and how they go together. And I'll leave that at the end of the video, okay? Where am I waiting to be chosen instead of choosing myself? That's a powerful one. Where am I waiting to be chosen instead of choosing myself? Okay? Now, because it's a square, it's what we call in astrology a harsher aspect, right? So the square can bring tough conversations about these themes, emotional withdrawal, because Cancer is trying to figure it out, remembering, bringing it in. Okay, it's emotional. Okay, the square can also bring a reckoning around who you've outgrown. And I just had that conversation with my bestie, okay, about who I've outgrown, right? And why. Okay? So, a reckoning around who you've outgrown and why. But it's also the moment you stop outsourcing your worth. This is so that you're understanding your worth. Okay? So, also active on this day, we're going to have Venus. Same. She's the head of the thing this week. She's like the energy. She's going to be sextiling right here, Chiron. Okay? So, tenderness with a side of healing is what's going to be going on. You might cry unexpectedly. Allow yourself to do that. These are for all the times that you didn't allow yourself, didn't get to, whether life didn't let you, or someone around you didn't let you, or you didn't let you, right? But it brings clarity, not chaos. You're not going to fall apart. You're just going to fall through to some clarity. Okay? So let that happen, right? Now, we also are going to have Uranus in Gemini. He's just gotten into Gemini. We've already seen some truths and some shaking up about with the media and the way we communicate and all of that, right? We've got a whole thing about that. I did a video. One of the videos for the forecast, I explain all of that, right? So it is going. Uranus and Gemini is it? You guys know 0 degrees is a very important degree, so it's going to be sextiling. That's a good aspect. It's going to be sextiling this introspective. Where are my dreams? Who am I? What my identity is with my dreams? How am I going to bring that forward? All of those boundaries being crossed, you testing yourself, all of that is like, it's going to be sextiling that Uranus, right? And Uranus, remember, Uranus just wants you to have your freedom. Okay. So he will do what's necessary so that you have your freedom. All right. So with this, because we have Neptune and Saturn involved, Neptune is the other world. The veil is gone. Saturn brings from the other world and makes it physical, right? So watch for messages through dreams, through music, or signs that help you bridge logic, Saturn, and soul, Neptune. And Uranus wants you to feel free in this, okay? So, also, Neptune and Saturn sextiling. This is really important too. These are bigger aspects that are going on. So, emotionally, you're just going to be up and down, some of you. And that's okay. Allow that to happen. You need to so that you can break through to this clarity. Okay. So it is going, these two retrograde are going to sextile. These are all good aspects. Sextile Pluto. Okay. And Pluto's retrograde. Now, I just finished my whole series of Pluto through the houses. It's part of my hero series. I gave my heart and soul, my experience, everything I had to that series, and I just finished it, and I will put it up here as well. Okay, to understand yourself better and society better and people around you better, go through each one of those houses. They have a lot to teach you, a lot to help you transform and awaken. Okay, because we don't need to carry this baggage anymore. Like we've been carrying it for lifetimes. Enough already. Okay, so with this sextile in Aquarius, right? You're not just healing, you're anchoring your new blueprint, right? As you're anchoring your new blueprint, look how it's opposing the sun over here. What are you doing with your heart, right? But because it's sextiling here, this is your identity. Who are you? What do you want now? Who are you identifying as to be that person? This has to do with manifestations, right? I'm no longer the person that I used to be that allowed those things to happen. I am this person, right? That's what the sextile, because they're all retrograde, introspective, right? That's what this is going to help you do, is anchor your new identity, who you are now, right? It's not just healing you, because it is very healing, but it's doing that as well. Okay. I'm telling you, this is going to be a week. But it's not an outside week where everything's happening outside of you. It's inside. Okay. These are the deeper wounds and things that we're going through, and things that we're trying to transmute, transform, clear, so that we can anchor our identity and be that person of abundance, and be that person in good relationships, and be that person that's always happy and joyful and glad, right? But if you're still trying to identify as the old you, this is where this clearing is coming from. Okay. So before I move to the next section, what I want to say is please, please, please honor yourself and be kind to yourself. The same kindness, if not more, that you show to everyone else and have throughout your life. I want you to be that kind, at least that kind. It's so odd to me, even though I do it as well, is that we can be the kindest, most giving, sweet, understanding people for those around us, and give people excuses and give people help, but we don't do that for ourselves. I don't, it's just heartbreaking to me that we do this, and I don't want us to do this anymore. You need to honor yourself. Okay. So everything this week is pointing to one thing, and that, my beautiful ones, is going to be on August 9th. Just a second, sorry about that. So on August 9th, we are going to have this new moon at 17 degrees. Okay, the moon is going to move on by this time, but on August 9th, we're going to have the full moon in Aquarius. Okay, so everything this week is pointing to that one thing of the Aquarius full moon on August 9th, and it will be happening at 17 degrees. And what this is going to do is it will expose the gap between who you are and the roles you keep performing. This is Aquarius. This is the roles. It's going to shine the light, right? Not with Pluto, sorry, with the new moon. I'm going to talk about it later. Okay. So if you feel a slow building pressure this week, it's the full moon calling your soul to remember the bigger vision. Okay. We'll dive into all of that next Monday. But for now, just know what feels emotionally comforting this week is preparing you to liberate yourself under that moonlight. okay, with this moon in Aquarius, okay? So, what I'd like to do, so if you've never seen me before, I'm different than a lot of people because I'm actually going to help you move through this energy and give you some steps to take or rituals or whatever you want to call it, okay? But this is so that this helps you move through the energy because we have lots of tools in this world to help us. Okay. But I can only guide you. It is up to you to take that responsibility and do it for yourself. Okay. So, because we're going to be talking and dealing, or because we're going to be dealing with the nervous system, let's do some nervous system embodiment practices. Okay. So, what I'd like for you to do when you're ready this week is fill a bowl with warm water and some rose petals. But if you don't have rose petals, because not everybody does, some salt will do. Okay. And then I want you to sort of softly, in a good tone, with some love behind it, I want you to whisper into the water. Okay. And I want you to, as you whisper, what I want you to say is one belief that you are ready to dissolve about love or safety. Okay? So think about this before you do it and just whisper it into the water. One belief that you're ready to let go of about love or about safety, or both if you want. Okay? And then what I want you to do is place your hands in the bowl, in the water. Okay? You're releasing this and you're going to give it to the water. So place your hands in the bowl, and then I want you to say, I do not need to be smaller to be safe, because you don't. I do not need to be smaller to be safe. I do not need to be silent to be loved. I do not need to be silent to be loved. And just let it soak. Let your hands soak in there. Okay? That's one. Then another, let's do a little bit of somatics for this Venus in Cancer. Okay? So you can really embody this because it is so important. We are transmuting energy enough with the going round and round and round and we don't know what to do. Enough. Okay? This is my work. I hope that you do these things. I know they seem simple. They're not easy, but they are powerful. Okay. So I would like for you to get in a safe space and curl into yourself. So, like your knees to your chest. Okay. Or forward fold if you can't get the knees to the chest, but just kind of curl. Okay. And I want you to just sit there for a minute. And then I want you to slowly uncurl. Okay. So I want you to take a deep breath and then exhale as you slowly uncurl. And as you're doing this, I want you to say, I can be soft and strong. I choose tenderness that tells the truth. Okay. So again, you're going to curl into yourself. Just really hold yourself. And then slowly uncurl and exhale. Okay, so you're going to take a deep breath and then you're going to exhale. And as you're uncurling, I want you to say, I can be soft and strong. I choose tenderness that tells the truth. Okay? See? Very easy to do, but you have to take the time to do it. Okay? This is going to help you a lot. Just let it move through your body, but you need to move your body so that the energy can move through it, right? Seems simple, but they're not easy. Okay? Do love yourself and do this for yourself. I know they seem really simple, but they are so powerful. Okay? So, this week, let your nervous system speak. Do not try to ignore your nervous system. All right. I want you to let your nervous system speak. Let your tears speak. Let your laughter speak. You have survived July. And not by chance. You did it by choice. You knew what was going on. If you've watched these videos, you were aware and you did it by choice. And I am so proud of you. Now, let Venus show you. Let her show you. That's what she does. She's good at it. Let her show you where your heart needs to feel safe again. Let her show you where your boundaries are a form of devotion. Those are your boundaries. Okay? Let Venus show you where softness is your sovereignty. And if you're ready to keep walking this soul path with me, I just completed, like I said, that Pluto through the houses series. That's a deep dive into your soul's hidden contract and your power. And don't forget also, every Tuesday and Thursday, Sacred Sync brings tarot that meets you right where you're at. We are doing some great things over there. Okay, we're holding that vibration. We are in this vibration that I know to be true of where your dreams are coming through. Okay, and starting this Friday, because we ended the Pluto series, we're going to begin a new series, right? And guess what it's going to be? I'm excited. I hope you're excited because it's probably not going to be the way that you're going to think it's going to be. Anyway, it's Venus through the houses, exploring how love, beauty, and value evolves in every area of your chart. Okay? So you are not behind, beautiful one. Remember, you are not broken. You never were. You never will be. You are exactly where your healing becomes power. So click into what's calling you, whichever one of those series, go back and watch. And I will see you next Monday under the glow of an Aquarius full moon that wants to set your vision free.